and talking about saving up cash, starting a business, going to work and all of that. Today we're talking about entrepreneurship, but a little more advanced. So for people who ventured into running their own business, what have they done to ensure that their business is sustainable beyond 2 years? We're told that the first 3 years would be what determines if your business will succeed or not, because at that point you're trying to find your feet, you're doing all the legal work and going through all the processes to ensure that your business actually has a strong footing. Then after that, you have 10 years of growing the business and ensuring that it stays successful. If you go beyond 10 years, then you are likely to have a business that will last a long period. In fact, in Africa, according to the African Development Bank, we're told that 22% of Africa's working age population is starting a business, and we have the most people starting businesses in Africa. In fact, we have more entrepreneurs in Africa than we have all across the world. And out of that, 27% of these people are women. And so we have more women in Africa who are starting businesses than women all across the world. Unfortunately, there's a high rate of small business discontinuance, and that is about 8.4%. And so what are they doing wrong, which is why they cannot sustain their business? And for those of you who just started a business, what are the key things that you need to note in order to grow your business? And that's what we're discussing this morning. Joining me, I have two young entrepreneurs, and then also I have a business development coach who will be speaking to us on what we need to do. So first of all, in the studios, I have Elsie-Land Ewudzi Samson. She's popularly known as Ajua Agbogloshi. She's the founder and team lead at Big Sam's Market, and it's a grocery delivery service. Good morning, girl.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm great.
I mean, for those of you who watched the BU project, you realize that we did a whole documentary on her job. She goes to Agbogloshi at what time? 3 a.m.
Yes.
To go and buy produce,
Yes.
come home, clean it, and oh man, you're doing a good job. And also another woman who's doing a fantastic job is Bridget Boateng. She's the founder of Whitford Golden, producers of Power Flush. It's a pocket-sized WC disinfectant for shared toilets.
Yes, please.
Welcome.
Thank
How are
you.
you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
How long have you been doing this, by the way?
For about 9 months now.
9 months?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, born out of COVID?
Before
Or before?
COVID. But
Before COVID?
Yes.
So 9 months, you're still quite a baby.
Very young.
You're still yet to cross the first 1 year, 2 years.
Sure.
I'm sure you do a lot of learning on how to grow your business. Why did you go into entrepreneurship, first of all?
For the financial security and the exposure it comes with.
Okay, break it down further. Were you doing something else before you ventured into this
Yes,
business?
yes.
Tell me about it.
I worked with a consulting company. It's an
Okay.
IT consulting company. So, yeah.
Did you quit to start this?
No, I still worked alongside.
Okay, but why did you decide to start this particular one?
Honestly, I've always been passionate about it. Like, every time I use a shared toilet, I keep thinking, okay, is there a way to make it cleaner? So it was birthed out of the idea of bringing it to fruition, something I'd always been thinking about.
So you used what, your savings, or did you go for a loan?
No.
How did you start?
I started with my savings.
Your savings?
And a birthday gift for my friend.
Is it?
Yes.
Lucky you.
I know.
We need more friends like that.
Yes.
How about you, Elsie? You've been running your business for what, 5 years?
Yes.
I know your background, but just for people who are watching as well, you are also a graphic designer.
Yes.
And then you started this. Why?
So I started it even back in school before I started my profession. And it was through a research I was doing on food packaging. So local food stuff packaging.
Okay.
And then I came across the word grocery delivery. And I was beginning to love convenience, to like having easy access to stuff, because even in school I was very busy.
Yeah.
And then reading more about grocery delivery, I found out that this particular service will help. Even though at that time, it wasn't, people didn't know about it. It was a strange service to provide.
Yeah.
But I knew there was a future for it.
And that's when you went into it. And it's been
Yes.
5 years. Before we even continue the conversation, we also have another guest who joined us via Zoom. He's Jeremiah Boabing. He's the CEO of Boabing Communications. Good morning, Jeremiah. Hi, Jeremiah.
Hi,
Can you
good
hear
morning,
me?
Bella.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, and you?
I'm good. Thank you very much. I'll come to you shortly so that you share some tips with us on how to grow your business and the mistakes that a lot of young entrepreneurs make. But for you, what do you think has been the X factor in your business?
So I know it may sound like a cliche, but being determined and not giving up.
Okay.
Because in the beginning, like I said, starting a grocery delivery service, even my friends in school didn't understand what it was. And I didn't even get it. I made several mistakes. I started my business like 3 times before it really like started working well.
When you say 3 times, so what were the mistakes that you made that?
So in school, the first one was in school, I started a pilot study.
Okay.
And the first thing is sometimes we don't understand the market we are communicating with. So in Ghana, as at that time, letting someone shop for you was a big deal. I want to go myself, select the things myself, bargain, rent to swore and all that. So why would I let you do it for me? You cheat.
Yeah.
So you have to understand your market. I remember sitting in a trotro and just getting this, a customer asked that if I shop for you, will I get it like going to Abu Blushi? And sitting in a trotro, I remember that statement that she made. And I said, no, I think I need to use this phrase. That's when I came up with the phrase, quality groceries from Abu Blushi market.
Okay.
At Abu Blushi prices. So it means the prices are going to be affordable, but you're going to get it like the quality from the mall.
But even that, people still won't believe it because in my head, I'm paying for transportation.
Yes.
I'm paying for your time.
Yes.
That same amount, I can use it to buy an extra bucket of tomatoes or peppers. So why should I give it to you?
But remember that your cost of transportation and all that, you have to factor. So now you have to really let the people know that the convenience that you are providing for them is not just you are going to buy something and so you have to explain in visual forms, communicating to the person, your marketing, the words that you use to market your service. So I was using grocery delivery, and it was kind of, people thought grocery was just maybe Milo supermarket. But when I brought in the Abu Blushi, and even started calling myself Abu Blushi. Now when people see, they're like, okay, Abu Blushi is related to market, food stuff.
And this was the third time after you came back?
Yes, this was the third time. And that's when people started, like on social media, who is this girl? Why is she calling herself Abu Blushi? And that's what sold it. So sometimes
for you, it was more branding as well.
And
communicating to the people. That means you lost a lot of money because you started first time, it failed, second time. How much did you lose?
I can't tell, but I lost my national service savings. That one I remember. The savings I made during national service to start the business.
Bridget,
again.
what about you? So you are saying that you were lucky. A friend of yours gave you a gift, and that's how you started the business. But you don't just get up and start a business.
No.
What were the things that you put in place to ensure that you were ready to begin?
I don't think I ever felt ready. I still don't feel ready. It was an idea I couldn't stop thinking about.
Okay.
So even before starting and registering it officially, I sort of piloted it in sometime October 2019.
Okay.
Yes. And it also failed.
It failed?
Yes.
Why did it fail? Why did it fail?
So I didn't get the type of bottles I was looking for. I wanted it to be small because that was the concept of the antiseptic. But I ended up getting 200 ml bottles. They were very big. They took forever to get finished. It was very expensive to produce. The branding didn't work. And the name as at then was a bit generic because there are a lot of power products on the market. So I had to tweak the name to suit the brand. So, yeah.
But did you do, competitive analysis and all those things? You know, when they say you're starting a business, you have to study your competitor. No, like she said, you need to understand the market as well. There's differentiation and a number of other things that you have to do. Did you do all of that?
I did a little bit of research on some competitors, but the product is not very common. I think I found just 1 or 2 competitors, and they weren't even in Ghana. So it was very difficult to get some data that could comply with the local market.
So you feel the first time came the second time. What did you do differently? Aside getting the right bottle size, changing the name, what else do you think worked?
I think just talking to a lot of people that are already in business, understanding what their processes had been, taking advice and walking the talk mostly.
But you're still not ready.
No, I'm still.
Jeremiah, let me bring you in here because a lot of people, whether fortunately or unfortunately, they are waiting to be ready before they start. So you have that idea, you've been sitting on that idea for so long, but then again, people ask you, why haven't you kickstarted your business? And you're like, I don't think I have all the things that I need to be able to start. What do you say? I think you muted yourself, if you can unmute yourself. Okay.
Yeah, hi, Bella, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Carry on.
Well, so the trap of waiting to start big is probably one of the biggest traps in the world for a lot of people, because they want to start a school, but they want to start a school for it to look like a school that you can see that is probably 20 years old, that has stood the test of time, generated a lot of cash flow, built massive capital. But unless you come from a rich family, you almost always have to start everything small.
Yeah.
Because unless you're coming from a rich family, you're not going to have a lot of cash flow or cash reserves with which to start a business. So you have to start small. So that's the biggest trap for a lot of people, waiting to start big. I'm looking for money. I want to get an office before I start a business.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. When I started my business, I was still living in my father's house. I had a small bedroom and a small blue Toshiba laptop. And I started the business. In the first 6 months of doing the business, I got what I think was my first big break. So I decided that, okay, I want to move what I'm doing to the next level. So the next level I went to was to rent a chamber and hall, self-contained, convert my hall into an office, and then my chamber into my bedroom. So I was living in my bedroom and then operating the business from my hall. So if you came to my hall, it was a complete business setup.
Okay.
The plan was to operate it there for about a year. But in life, things don't always go as you plan. So I ended up staying in that hall for 2 years. And then eventually, I moved my business to an office location in Accra.
Okay.
And I ran there for 3 years before I moved to my current location. So people should not be afraid of starting. You don't have to get everything that you need. What matters is that you have the courage and the confidence to start and build from where you start from.
Well, so they mentioned that they made some few mistakes when they started. Ajabublo, she says, I started 3 times. It was on the 3rd try that I got my break. For Bridget, she said it was my 2nd try that birthed my business. So you'll definitely make mistakes, but how do you survive in the first few months or 1 year of your business? Because that's very key.
Right. So a lot of the mistakes that many of us make in business, especially in our early stages, is that we have too much optimism. We expect things to work so fast. So we spend a lot. So most people start a business and they expect that right after they register a name and put out a logo and say that they are doing A, B, C, D, people will rush to their door. So very often there is more spending without a focus on cash flow, without a focus on how much money is coming in the business. So that's one of the things that we need to watch. When you start a business, don't get too carried away. So that's one of the reasons why having a lot of money at the start of a business may sometimes be a disadvantage.
Okay.
Because you have a lot of money and then you are excited, you get carried away, you hire flash officers, hire many staff, and now you have nice office, you have a lot of staff, but nobody's really bringing you business. So the challenge that a lot of startup entrepreneurs have to deal with is overzealousness, over enthusiasm, expecting that things will work out as soon as I start. So you spend without thinking of how much the money is bringing in the business.
But
then second,
okay, carry on.
a critical part of watching your spending is knowing how to take financial data. If you're running a business, you must know exactly how much money is coming into the business every day, every week, every month, and how much money is going out of the business. It's been reported that one of the biggest factors why businesses don't succeed in their first few years is because of a lack of proper financial management. Proper financial management begins with a simple task, a simple skill of learning how to record your income as well as your expenses. If you are recording your income and your expenses, you can tell how well the business is going, how much work you need to do, how much you can spend. That's a basic, and I do a bit of consulting for startup businesses. And for almost every startup business I've met, they don't have data. They can't tell you how much their business is making. And sometimes the business can be a big business, making as much as 100,000 a month. But the owner of the business has no idea how much is coming in the business. So
usually because they don't have like the financial background to be able to keep track, right?
So you don't necessarily need a financial background to do this. All you need to do, you can even just create a Word document or an Excel sheet that says, this is my income. On the 3rd of October, 2021, Adwamansa paid this amount of money for this. So your income will show your date. It will just show your date and then the item, and then the person who gave you the money and the amount.
Yeah.
Then your expense will show the same thing: your date, the item, who you spent the money with, and then the amount.
Okay.
So you don't necessarily need a financial bank. You don't need a sophisticated accounting skill to do that. You just have to be disciplined. And the challenge is that very often when you're an entrepreneur, we also your chief everything officer. You are always running around. So you don't really take the time to sit down and do a lot of calculation and reflection. But you have to. If your business is going to survive, you have to learn how to sit down and say, today, how much have we received? How much have we spent? Because really, a business is not big because of its offices. A business is not big because of how nice its websites look. A business is basically dependent on just one thing: cash.
Okay.
So you need to make time to record your cash and record your transactions.
Okay.
Or else you can never really tell whether the business is doing well or it's not doing well. And you keep hiring people and really be wasting money.
Okay. What was the next point you're going to make? Is it just 2 points you're making, by the way, on how you should sustain your business? Okay.
Exactly.
Let me bring it to you because, Bridget, I noticed you kept nodding when he was speaking, especially about the finances. Why were you nodding so much?
Because I wasn't doing any of the things he was talking about, like tracking my income and expenses.
Okay.
Because I would wake up and I have orders to meet. So I'm like, okay, when I come back, I'll write it down. And then I don't. And then I ended up spending a lot. Delivery, courier, everything. I wasn't tracking it properly. And the money wasn't even coming in as much. So my accounts were really in the negative.
And so that's why you closed down the first time and had to start again.
Again.
What about you, Ajua? Because in all of this, we haven't talked about having a business plan. And we're told that even before you start your business, you must have a plan because that also guides you as to, you know, how far you want to go, how much money you want to spend and all of that. Did you have that?
So I had a business plan, but there's this thing about you will change it.
You will change it?
Like I really agree with what he was saying, and I'll say don't assume. You know, when you're starting the business, first you feel like, oh, people will order. Oh, this is a very convenient service.
Yeah.
But don't assume for the customer. Get your facts right. And yes, the plan is very good, but don't be hard on yourself to change it, because you will change it. A lot of things, by the time you are 2 years, by the time you're even a year old, you realize that, okay, I thought this will work, but this is not working. So you will change a lot of things, but having that plan will be a guide.
Okay.
At least it will help you know that this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm starting from, and this is where I'm going to. And the finance part, it's very important. See, I didn't know my business was making money, like some amount of money a month, till I got an accountant.
Okay, so in your case, you had to get an accountant.
Initially, I had to do it myself, but you know, I was working full-time too, and combining this was very difficult. So my finances, that I couldn't keep track very well. But then at a point, I realized that, okay, I can afford not a full-time accountant, but someone I can take it to once a week, or someone that can come in once a week and take account of everything we are doing. And that's when I realized that, no, I have to take my business serious, because I was actually doing a lot.
I see. Then that's difficult. I mean, Jeremiah, let me bring you back in, because she's talking about not even necessarily following the business plan, because whether you like it or not, reality will hit you and things will change. And you might have to readjust your plan. Is that so?
Well, Bella, in truth, unless you've been in the position of managing a business before, you will not be able to really do a business plan that will reflect reality. Even for those who are experts at business plans or management or consulting, the reality that unfolds when they start a business does not match with what happens, what is written on the business plan.
Yeah.
So really, business plans are great. What a business plan helps you to do is that it helps you to think hard about your business, about what is going to go into it, how you're going to handle operations, how you're going to handle marketing, how you're going to handle sales, how you're going to handle production, and all of those things.
Yeah.
But really, a business plan is just what it is. It's a projection. It's like it's a campaign manifesto. The fact that you release a campaign manifesto that says that you do ABCD when you get into government, does not mean that when you get into government, things will go as you plan. Because when you get into the business, you realize that I made a few assumptions, but those assumptions were not what I thought or I expected.
Yeah.
So whilst I encourage the writing of business plans, and you should do that with an expert, if you're really going to do a business plan that will be useful to your business, you need to work with an expert. So either a consultant or somebody who has a lot of experience in business who ask you hard questions. And sometimes when people are asking you hard questions, it may feel like they are discouraging you, but really that's the power of experience, because experience helps you to see things that the person who is just starting, who is only driven by passion, will not see. So that's true. Your business may not run according to plan, but you still need to have a plan.
Okay.
And the business plan is not only relevant for a startup business, even an existing business needs to have a plan for what it wants to do. But the entrepreneur will grow in their understanding of how to draw and manage or implement a plan. The more they grow in business and they pay attention to the lessons, not just about getting experience, but paying attention to the experience and drawing the right conclusions. Because sometimes it's possible to be going through an experience and even be lost and not know what is happening. Why is this thing so? Why are things going the way they are going? So I say that the most important quality for every entrepreneur is the ability to analyze and ask questions.
I mean, how often should you revise the business plan? Then should you do it annually? Should it be based on which direction your business is going? And so maybe if it keeps changing direction every 2 weeks, you should change it too?
So, I mean, it only makes sense that every time a business is going into a new year, it starts to rethink its journey.
Okay.
And starts asking new questions. What were our goals at the beginning of the year? And that's assuming that you had goals, that you had really stated goals that you wanted to achieve in the year. So what were our goals in the beginning of the year? How far have we achieved our goals? How far have we achieved our strategic goals, our marketing goals, our operational goals, our sales goals? The answers to those questions will determine what happens in the coming year. So it makes a lot of sense for every business to take a look at this plan as it enters every new year. What's my plan? What's my agenda? What have I done well? What am I not doing well? What should I do? What should I stop doing? So that you keep working and tweaking the plan. So the business plan is not something that you do once for all time. It becomes a living document that you keep enhancing, you keep improving, you keep tweaking, so that the business will keep generating cash flow.
All right, ladies, back to you in the studio. So at what point did you start making profit? Because a lot of people also start the business and expect that within the first month, I must see some cash flow. Otherwise, the business is not doing well. And so then
believe, because I wasn't tracking, I believe I started making profits almost into the second year.
Second year?
Yes.
Second year?
Yes.
So you can go a whole year without making profit?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
You break even. You can break even and all that. Because, you know, when you start a business, you will also be investing in it. So the little money that you make, you have to invest. Like, I started in my kitchen.
Yeah.
And then I could relate because I also used my living room as a workspace before we now like have a walk-in shop or market or something. So you have to invest.
Yeah.
And then so the profit doesn't come in the beginning. That one, it won't come. Yeah, you can hit. You know, things happen.
Yeah.
COVID came in and people started businesses in like a month and they were making a lot of money. Anything can happen, but I would say that don't go in expecting that you will make it in some few. And just get ready for anything that will happen.
But if I'm taking a loan and I'm supposed to pay the loan back in a year, I mean, I'm expecting to make profit so I can pay back.
That's the, you know, he was saying something that unless you are very rich, start small.
Okay.
If you're rich and you have all the funds, the support, and you can start big, and you have your projections, no problem.
But don't go for a loan at the beginning
if you are
when you know
not,
you can't pay back.
if you know you can't pay back, because it can be very tricky.
Yeah.
The business can collapse in a month.
Yeah.
So don't take huge risk.
Okay, Bridget, are you making profits already?
No.
Not at all.
Not at all. I mean, in my books, if people that owe me pay, then yes, I will make profits. But as we're speaking now, no.
People are not paying?
No. So people hold the products to resell it because of the quantities we look to sell. Yes. And I was overly optimistic when I started. I was targeting, okay, in a month I can sell like 5,000 bottles, I can sell like 3,000 bottles. I actually had a month where we sold just 3 bottles. And I had I had 2 marketers.
3?
Yes.
Of the small bottles or the big ones?
Yes. I had a marketer who sold just 3 bottles. I was combining it with work, so I wasn't always taking data or asking what was going on.
A whole month, just 3 bottles?
Yes, one particular person sold 3 bottles.
Okay, that must be depressing.
That's
yes,
the
very.
reality.
How did you deal with that?
I just spoke to myself that, I mean, this is something I really want to do. It gives me sleepless nights. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's going to be tough, but I'm sure people have done it and succeeded, so I should be fine. I will be fine.
So how do you take care of yourself then? Because you're hoping to make some money off it to also,
I know.
you know, cater for your needs.
True.
How are you doing that?
So
because you have another job.
Yes, I have another job. I write on the side as well. So
Oh, so you have a number of businesses. So you're fine.
no, I need this business to thrive.
Jeremiah, finally to you before we even wrap up. So again, the issue of taking a loan at the beginning of your business, is that a right thing to do? I mean, whether or not you are from a rich home, should a loan be the first thing that you should take when you're starting a business? And how long should you wait to start seeing yourself make some profit?
So the answer to this question is both yes and no, because it depends on the expertise or the management capacity of the individual in question. For one person starting a business, they've already been involved in the running and management of a previous business with someone. So they have enough understanding and expertise to manage loan that they take from another organization.
Yeah.
But if you are starting a business and you are fresh in business, you've not really been in management position in the business, you don't really understand how to manage a business, going for your own can be very risky. So my advice for people who are starting a business without a lot of management experience, consider raising capital by yourself and make mistakes with your own capital. Because if you don't learn how to make mistakes with capital, if you've not managed 20,000 cedis before and go for a 20,000 cedis loan, the likelihood that you will waste that money and not be able to repay the loan is very high.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it always depends on the management ability of the person in question. Have you had business management experience? And business management experience does not necessarily mean you have worked before. You can work and not be in management. So if you've not been in management, your ability to ensure that you can make money with the money you've borrowed and pay back is low.
So final words from both of you before we wrap up. So for you, I mean, any young entrepreneur out there who's looking to start a business or has started already, is facing some challenges, what would you say to that person?
I would say that don't be too hard on yourself when you make mistakes. Don't be too hard. You will face challenges. They will come. You have to be ready for it. And like I always say, don't assume for the customer. Don't assume for your target market that my target market will like me to go to the market and shop for them.
Yeah.
No, they will tell you that I want to go and bargain myself. So you have to be ready to communicate, know how to sell yourself, how to sell your business, so that people will know that, okay, this is not something that she's doing to cheat me or something. This is a business that will help me. This is a service, a convenient service. And see, the breakthrough will come.
It will definitely
It will
come.
come.
Bridget, final words.
So my final words, similar to what she said, don't be too hard on yourself. I mean, I actually read an article that was talking about having failed money because the business is likely to fail within the first year.
Yeah.
So when it does, you have something to fall back on and then start again.
Exactly.
And then just go easy, read a lot, try and educate yourself, and then you should be fine.
How do we reach you? Social media handles.
Yeah, it's at Power Flash Toilet Sanitizer.
Okay.
Instagram,
and your
Facebook,
power is spelled
Twitter.
differently.
Yes, it's PAWAR
Flash.
FLUSH.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you?
Please follow Big Sam's Market. See, you have fun and you have convenient services to enjoy.
So Big Sam's, the
Big-
Sam's is spelled
Big Sam's, BIGSAMPS.
SAMPS.
Big Sam's
Okay.
Market.
All right, Jeremiah, I mean, if anybody wants to reach out to you for coaching or for business, how do we do so?
You can reach out to me on my social media handles. Jeremiah William Boabin is my name on Facebook on my profile. Jeremiah Boabin Global is my official page. And you can reach out to me there. If you want to call me by phone or WhatsApp, the number is 0246 882632. 0246 882632.
All right.
Thank you.
And quickly, Kelvin Prince Gowe from Facebook says that you need to invest in something that's going to be profitable. And moreover, you don't spend on unnecessary things that will bring you nothing but loss. Remember, doing a business requires sacrifices and being patient and determined. Mira GH says, in your first 2 years of business, selflessness, dedication, and sacrifices should be your main characteristics. Avoid spending on unprofitable assets. Save a little and do not expect to gain much in the first year. Okay, as an entrepreneur, these 2 years, if you don't understand it as the life cycle of your service or product, you'll bow out in glory. before your employees choke you. Okay, I'm trying to understand that. But Emmanuel, finally, I'll read this one, says, know why you are in that business first and foremost. Remember the God factor. It is very important. Know your customers' needs. Ensure good customer service. Be consistent and be enduring. And finally, okay, Aseriwa says that as a new entrepreneur, no party, no wedding, no funeral, and unnecessary things that cannot let your business survive for 2 years. I wish I could read all of them. I got quite a number of messages also on Twitter. On Facebook as well. But it's been a very good conversation, I must say. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I have Elsie Land Ewudi Samson, and she is the founder of Big Sam's Market, and also Bridget is the founder of Power Flush toilet products. And so please get in touch with them. And also I had in the studio as well on Zoom Jeremiah Boabing. He's the CEO of Boabing Communications. Thank you for joining me, all three of you, and I hope that you've learned something so far. We have entertainment coming up, and we'll be speaking to the GMB winners this morning. Safwa emerged winner last night, with Setup and Menu emerging first and second runners up. We'll speak to them when we get back.